Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio presented by Regions Bank. Start building your financial confidence at Regions Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing member. Welcome back, folks, to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon. And yeah, we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have a guest with me today, and somewhat of an honor to have her in. I have with me an award-winning author, first and foremost. And this young lady is now has started writer workshops that we're going to hear all about. With me today, I have Carole Townsend. Carole, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm always good.
Good.
They don't let me be anything but.
Your keepers don't allow it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, good.
Now, I gotta hone in right away. Award-winning author. This is your moment to brag. That's why we got you here.
All right. How much time have you given me?
You did the hard work. You get to talk about it.
Among the 6 books I've written, my 4th book, which is Blood in the Soil, which is the true crime story about the shooting of Larry Flint on the square in Lawrenceville. Back in 1978. For that book, I was awarded Finalist for Georgia Author of the Year, believe in 2018. And then Peachtree Corners had commissioned me to write the history of their city. That book actually did it. That got me Georgia Author of the Year in 2022.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
I got to go way back. You wrote a book about NASCAR years ago.
I did.
See, I knew about that. I knew about that.
I did. Magnolias, Sweet Tea, and Exhaust.
Is that what it was?
That's the name of the book. And surprisingly, it got great reviews.
Well, it was a good book, Carole.
I mean, it was.
That's why it got good reviews.
Of course, it was.
Oh, the book was horrible. They just liked me. No, it was a good book.
As a 50-something suburban mom who knew nothing about NASCAR,
right.
I was thrilled with the reviews that it got. But my poor husband dragged him along with me for a year, following the NASCAR circuit, and learned about everything from the culture to the cars to the garages to the drivers. It was fascinating. And I will say, some of the kindest, most welcoming people I've ever worked with.
When you write a book, though, you immerse yourself into the quote-unquote situation.
I do. You
didn't just Google a bunch of stuff.
No.
It truly is a lifestyle for you.
It is, and it's one that I love. And I think, speaking for myself as a writer, if I've experienced something, then I can tell you not just what I see, but what I hear and smell, and I can take you along with me on the experience. And that's, to me, the magic of what I do. I really enjoy it.
Now, to write this book about Larry Flint, how'd you immerse yourself into that?
Cool story there. So as a 20-year newspaper journalist, I had a lot of good relationships in Gwinnett County, and then District Attorney Danny Porter was a relationship that I had through work. And I remember flipping through the newspaper one day and just reading maybe 2 lines, that the guy who shot Larry Flint in Lawrenceville had been executed in a Missouri prison. And I remember thinking, now that's odd.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 16 when that happened, but I remember the circus that came with it. But I thought, why Missouri? I assumed that was the only crime he had committed was in Lawrenceville. So
apparently not.
No, I called Danny and I said, look, I knew they had to bring those boxes up from the basement, wherever they keep files of past cases that had not been closed, because that case was never tried.
Really?
In Gwinnett County.
I had no idea.
Brought the boxes up. I knew they had to put that last piece of paper on top saying that the man had been executed. Right. And Danny was kind enough to let me set up space in his office and just read these files. And I'm telling you, fascinating, terrifying stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Was the guy's background? Mm-hmm. Or Larry Flint's background? I'm kidding. Or both their backgrounds.
That's a different story.
Yeah. Whole different podcast.
Fascinating
folks. Whole different podcast. And book, for that matter.
Yeah. Just reading the files, I thought, you would have to work to mess this up. But, if you were going to write the book, it was a true story of...
It kind of wrote itself.
It really did. I mean,
Wow.
It was good and evil and all of the parts that make a really good book. So
the guy that shot Larry Flint was actually worse than Larry Flint? That's a loaded question. Don't answer that.
I'll answer it. Yeah. I mean, Flint, he was his own sideshow.
Yes.
He was a marketing genius. I mean,
Big time.
He got all the free publicity he could stand, and he did it intentionally.
Oh, yeah.
What he did was not my thing.
I wouldn't go down that road, but hey, bless him for it, right?
But, when I was 16, I didn't know who he was.
Right.
I didn't know what Hustler magazine was. I just knew that Gwinnett County at the time was considered this little podunk, backwoods, hole in the wall.
Well, in 78 it really was.
38,000 people lived there.
Yeah.
And our parents wouldn't let us drive through Gwinnett County to go to Lake Lanier.
Really?
Yeah, because, some bizarre stuff took place in
Well,
Gwinnett.
yeah. Well, let's not go down any of those
Yeah.
roads. Because I'm probably related to some of those people.
Well,
You
we
probably
probably
are
all are.
too.
The story was absolutely amazing and terrifying.
I bet.
Terrifying.
How long did you spend combing over all these files?
I was in that office 5 days a week, about 6 hours a day for 7 months.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That was a full-time job.
Yeah, it was. And then I did the spinoffs. Flint was shot with a .44 Marlin. I don't know anything about guns.
I don't know about a Marlin, I must say.
But people refer to it as an elephant gun. But I've never shot
wow.
a gun at all. I found somebody who had one, and he took me out and let me shoot it, and I nearly broke my shoulder.
Yeah.
But fire really does come out the other end of the gun.
Does it really?
So, see, I can write about that and describe it and tell you what it smelled like. I don't know. I get into it. I really love what I do.
That's why you're successful.
Thank you.
Something about author of the year. I mean, they don't just throw that around.
I hope not. I hope not.
I imagine the Peachtree Corners book, the one that put you over the hurdle. I imagine that wasn't near as scary, though. I know a lot of people in Peachtree Corners. I do know a lot of people. They're good people.
Very good people.
I imagine that was a much tamer road to go down.
It was tame. I will tell you, the book goes back really to the footprint of what is now Peachtree Corners, because the city is not that old.
Right.
And I was so fortunate to be able to talk with people who were 100 plus years old.
Really?
So they worked these big farms. They lived through a very difficult time in our history.
Right.
And were very honest with me about their experiences. But not nearly as terrifying. It wasn't as terrifying as Blood in the Soil, but some of the truths and realities that people lived with.
The more or less hardships.
Yeah.
Sobering, very sobering.
It is.
Yeah.
And to think that really in our lifetime, a lot of this stuff continued. School segregation, things like that. This was our lifetime. Early on, but still our lifetime. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, considering where we've come to in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was a very cool book to write too.
Back then, when we were growing up, that was Norcross.
Yeah. Norcross, Pinckneyville was all kind of a hodgepodge. The book certainly covers those areas, and then it all comes together.
Brings it all together.
As the city, yeah.
Now, you talk about cities changing, times hopefully getting better. How has journalism in general, but how is that changing? How is journalism changing in general?
Oh, my goodness. Chronologically, alphabetically, journalism...
That was a very open-ended question, apparently.
In my opinion, journalism is no longer pure relating of the facts. We must admit that networks are owned by entities with certain agendas. And in my opinion, the news that is reported, at 5, 6, 11 o'clock at night is bought and paid for. We do not have Walter Cronkites anymore. We have talking heads who are feeding us what they have been told to feed us and not reporting news as well. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, but I am a journalist. And it bothers me that news has become a produced show.
Yeah, well, a moneymaker.
Yeah, it
ratings.
It is. Everything.
It's a business.
Follow the dollar.
Yeah, it's a
And
business.
yeah, it bothers me. It saddens me because so many people use that as their only source of information
Right.
and education. And I think we're seeing the results of that.
Yeah, they don't do their own work.
No,
Because that's like work.
it is.
Carole,
It takes effort. Yeah.
Sit over a bunch of boxes all day for that's work.
Yeah. We've certainly social media is a wonderful source of accurate information.
Well,
and
if it's on the
combine
internet.
that, if it's on the
It has
internet,
to be
it's true.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't be out there.
Sorry.
No, it's true. I mean, that's the way people think and feel.
That's how they absorb it.
Yeah. So between that and your evening news, boy, we've really got it covered. Only we don't.
We don't.
No.
Back in the day, didn't we call that yellow journalism?
Well, we called it a lot of things.
Okay.
But yes.
Well, yeah. I didn't even
That's
bring
one
that
of
up.
the things we called it.
We called it yellow journalism. But now I think though, right now the competition for the almighty dollar is so heavy that the shock value has to be there.
Oh my gosh.
Let's shock them into listening or watching, whatever it may be, or reading. And then if it's not quite what we said, well, we'll worry about that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or not.
Or not even at all.
It's all about the headline. It's all about grabbing your attention. And I'm not calling anybody out, but just this morning I had to laugh. A news headline about these Joro spiders. Am I saying that right? Those big giant.
Joro, yeah.
Right. Now they're venomous. And so they're going to jump on you. They can fly, and they're going to bite you, and they're venomous. And I thought, what happened over the winter? I mean, did they leave the country and come back? So you read the article.
They have passports, yes. It's called Amazon.
You read the article, and they are venomous to the creatures that they eat.
Which is every spider.
But not to humans.
Right.
But I thought, why put that in your headline? And, of course, we know the reason. So I'm picturing, going outside and swatting away, venomous,
like a
giant.
Really a bad B movie from the 70s.
Yeah. Which is basically you just described news. So, and I'm not even going to get into editing and why we don't invest in that anymore because, wow. But anyway, I'm an old school purist. I can't help it.
I am too. I'm accused of that all the time. Carole, we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to play a spot from our community partner. One of our great community partners is the De Leon Collective. Esteban and Casey are a dynamic husband and wife team spanning real estate, insurance, financial planning, and business consulting. Their one-stop shop provides a comprehensive suite under one roof. Visit DeLeonCollective.com today for expert guidance to optimize your business strategies, protect your assets, and achieve sustainable growth. And while you're at it, check out our new website, negabrx.com, for all our great community partners. Carole, you still there?
I'm still here.
Good, didn't run off on me.
No.
We got bills to pay around here. You know how that is. Now, other than the fact that you are award-winning and you're an awesome person, the reason we got you in here, you have started writing workshops, writer workshops.
I have.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited about it.
That's always got to be a step. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to know all about it.
I have taught writers' workshops for 10 years, but I've done it in person. So I'll have a class of, say, 15, 20 people.
That big.
It's an 8-week course.
I hear you.
So many people have a dream. I don't know how many people tell me in a month's time, I have a book. I have a book. I have a story I want to tell. And we do. I mean, we all have stories. The reality of writing a book is very different from the idea. And I will tell you I started this in 2011, I think. Everything I learned the hard way.
Sure.
If there were classes like this, I was not aware of them. I certainly didn't have the money to jet out to Hawaii for $7,000 to go to a writer's conference. I mean, that was not in the cards for me. So everything I learned the hard way. And I thrill with being able to help people take their dream of writing a book and making it a reality. People ask me all the time, aren't you training the competition? And the answer is no. Nobody writes like I do.
I was about to say, you have no competition.
And, but nobody's going to copy me. And if they did, I would advise them not to. We don't need another writer like me. We need another writer like you, the story you want to tell.
Yeah.
So I take them through, the facing down procrastination and fear and intimidation and helping them structure their book and their ideas all the way through publishing, publicizing. There's another fear. We don't like public speaking. We don't like getting in front of a TV camera or a microphone like this. It
right.
intimidates many people.
Oh, yeah. Mine does it ever.
Yeah. So if I can help people in that manner, it's fun for me. I really enjoy it. So mentors for a couple of years have said, look, why don't you do this online? You can reach so many more people. And I was intimidated by the technology, by the how-tos. Finally just bit the bullet and said, I'm going to do this. So far, so good.
How long you been doing it?
Gosh, we launched in February.
Okay. So this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. What'd you say, 8-week course? Eight?
Well, the way I'm doing it now is that you have the full battery of courses available to you. You do it at your own pace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then
there's a curriculum, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's very
separate
smart.
Courses. So there's lecture, there's study materials, exercises, and then once a month we come together as a group and share ideas and ask questions. And so far, so good.
All
People
virtual.
seem to like it.
It's all virtual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
Exactly. Now, I will say at the end of June, my marketing gurus are putting together. So what I've got out there now is just a flat fee. It's all yours. Knock yourself out. Use it for as long as you want. There are levels of service. So
Sure.
if people want to work directly with me, coaching, editing, helping them personally through the process, that's a different thing. Certainly available, but that is coming. In
Nice.
July, that package will be introduced as well.
That's great, though. You're 6 months in, not even really, and you're already stepping it up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's been that successful.
It's been cool because I really introduced this at a very low monthly price and we called it beta subscriptions because the subscribers have helped me really as much as I help them because I'm hearing this works. This doesn't, I don't really like the way you presented this. Can we try something else? So they've helped me fine tune it. Yeah. And I love that. I needed that.
Constructive criticism, always welcome.
Mm-hmm. I can take it.
What exactly, though, are you helping them with? Getting their ideas down, putting their ideas together, the research, maybe whatever they're writing about?
I
don't want to dive in too deep. I don't want to give the secrets away because people need to subscribe.
It's fine. We can, certainly the types of workshops I'd love to share. So we start with everything.
There's more than one.
Yeah, right now we've got a library of about 18 separate workshops.
Oh, wow. See, I had no idea.
And a reference library. So say we're talking about character development. I've got, quote, books you can pull off the shelf there and read more information on how to develop really good characters. So
characters in your writing. Mm-hmm. So we're talking fictional for that.
Well, we're talking fiction, but if people are writing memoirs, if people are writing... As I discussed with somebody the other day, you've got the storytellers like me. I love telling a good story. Mm-hmm. You've got people who are experts in a field, and they want to share that expertise in a book. And then you've got people who have experienced something in life, whether it's tragic or wonderful or something that was life-changing for them, and they need to tell that story. So I work with all of these. Because the nuts and bolts of writing a book are very similar.
Sure.
So it's the planning, the outlining, plot, flow, the quality of your writing, literary devices, and then we get into the business end of it, which is a mystery. It's a mystery to a lot of people, and it changes often.
Oh, I imagine it does.
Mm-hmm, it does.
Now you mentioned the publicity side of it. Do you work on people with public speaking?
No, I don't.
I hear you steer them in the right direction.
I tell them, you're going to have to do it.
Eventually
You'd be
you will.
surprised at the number of people who say,
"Oh no,
what?
No, not
we
me."
believe that we're going to write that book, and we're such great people, and our writing is so wonderful that it's just going to fly off the shelves."
Yes.
Well, you got to get it on the shelf.
Though no one knows it's there.
Right.
Right.
There's work to do. There are ways to get it on the shelves of a Barnes & Noble or wherever.
The business end of it.
Mm-hmm. So I help them understand how that's done.
Nice.
And then I tell them, unless you are Stephen King or James Patterson, you're going to be pounding the pavement.
Oh, yeah.
You are going to be, searching out radios, guest interviews, podcasts, radio, television, speaking engagements. But it becomes this big thing that kind of takes a life of its own. And to me, I've loved it. But people need to know that that's what's coming.
They're facing that if they want to be successful with it.
Right. To some people, it just matters that they get their book on paper, and I applaud them because that's very therapeutic.
Right.
I myself, I wanted my book to be in the hands of readers, so there's a lot that goes into that.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's some that just want to try to make money doing it.
Yeah, and, there's nothing wrong with that.
Of course not.
I do tell people if you start doing this in an attempt to be rich and famous, no, I mean, pick something else.
One out of every few thousand.
You're going to get hit by lightning first, and maybe that'll make you rich and famous.
That would probably do it. My luck, I'd get hit by lightning. No one would know about it. They find me a month later. We don't know why he's dead, but
somebody would write a book about it, probably.
Probably,
no,
yeah. Then Carole would come along and write a book about me getting hit by lightning and not being found for a month.
But, if that is your only goal, then I admonish you, don't waste your time.
Right.
If you are writing about something about which you're passionate and you put your all into it, that is the biggest step toward eventual success.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. What else do we need to talk about before we get out of here?
Let's see. My 6th book was kind of cool, and it was another honor. It's called Major League Deal. It's the story behind why the Atlanta Braves moved from Fulton to Cobb. And that was another commission work. They came to me and asked to tell this story. So it's a very cool book. It's another coffee table book like the Peachtree Corners book. The photography in this book is stunning because a sports photojournalist did all of it for me. The powers that be at the Atlanta Braves sat down with me and explained how all of this happened, why it happened, the speed at which it happened, why it was such a surprise when we all found out what was going on. We saw what was going on along, 75 there in Marietta, and said, what's going on there?
The busiest part of Atlanta just got busier.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then we learned, the Braves have moved. And, I grew up here.
Right.
So that was almost a sacrilegious thing. That was the Atlanta Braves. It's still an Atlanta address where they are, by the way. They made sure of that.
Technically, yes.
But, why the move? The reality of that was very, very interesting. Not what people thought.
Really?
Yeah.
And they need to read the book to find out.
They absolutely do.
When we get off air, I'm going to ask Carole. But I still want to read the book.
Yeah, interesting stuff. But, yeah.
Now, those interested in your workshops, how do they track you down?
You can reach me through the workshop site, which is writeadvice.net.
That's right, W-R-I-T-E.
Right. Yeah, I'm correct.
Right Advice.
Right
It
Advice?
is the right advice, but it's right advice.
Yes, so it's writeadvice.net.
.net.
And my author website is caroletownsend.com, and
Right.
Carole has an E on the end of it.
It does.
And you can reach me through that site as well.
And you're big on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I heard that I am. I mean, I am on LinkedIn. I didn't realize.
I see you all the time on LinkedIn.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
See, you're more of a celebrity than you realize.
I don't know. I'm just an old chick that's been around a while.
But people like you. That's what's so important.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Carole, if we got it all in, we'll get out of here a few minutes early.
I mean, I think we're good unless they just want to chit-chat about whatever.
No, we got time to do that. The folks don't need to hear all that. You and I know people. We know things. We don't want to be recorded.
We do.
Carole, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I've enjoyed it.
You're always welcome at the Northeast Studio.
Thank you.
Folks, Right Advice, that's right with a W, writeadvice.net. For you writers out there, everyone's got a little writer in them, I think. Check Carole out, CaroleTownsend.com. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.
Savings goals keeping you up at night? Let a Regions banker help you build a Regions Greenprint plan, a free financial roadmap personalized for what matters to you. Start building your financial confidence. Visit Regions.com to find a branch near you. Regions Bank, member FDIC.